Hey, how's everybody doing there? I wanted to let you all know that I got a book signing coming up, and it's not just for me, it's a big indie author event. It's called the Author Indie Book Fair in Houston, Texas. It's going to be, see, the date is going to be Saturday, August 26th from 10 a.m. till 6 p.m. The address is Spring Street Studios, 1824 Spring Street, Houston 77007. And I wanted to say really quick a thanks to Joseph Schiller. He reached out to me and invited me to this thing. And I'm not sure exactly how many authors are going to be there, but it's looking like at least 50 that I know of. So if you're in the Houston area, come on down. This is my first out-of-town book event, so I'm kind of excited about that, because usually it's just in the Dallas area. I think you know what kind of beer this is, but I can't show the label. I don't want to have the thing taken off of YouTube because, sponsorship didn't pay or whatever. Okay. But anyway, primarily out of my 13 published books, I'm only going to be focusing on a few because I don't have the funds to get a bunch of copies of everything. But my latest book, Diana the Psychopomp, I'm going to be primarily focused on that. And a psychopomp is a spirit who guides the recently dead to the other side. And in my book, it's treated like jury duty, so she gets selected. Okay, it's your turn to go bring this guy in. But when she gets to the point she almost has the guy to his forever after home, a couple of demons come along and say, "Hey, he's our soul. Give him to us." She knows, well, something's not quite right here, so she goes on the run through the afterlife, and wackiness ensues, because in the afterlife, bureaucracy never dies. And again, Diana the Psychopomp, my 13th and most currently published book. I'm also going to have copies on hand of the Targaryen trilogy. I don't have enough copies of Allies and Enemies to bring. I just have a few. I'll probably bring them anyway, then, the first come, first serve. But I'm selling these as a set. The first book, the Targaryen Sargus, book 1. The Targaryen Crimson Death, book 2. And the Targaryen The Circle Closes, the third and final book of the trilogy. Like I said, I'm selling those as a set. I really don't want to have them sold individually, but, I'm not going to turn down a sale. I'm going to try to have enough copies on hand to where, if people just want to buy the first book and see if they like it, I get that. I don't want to buy a whole series if I'm not going to like it. So you read the first book, that's pretty much a good indicator. And if you ask people who have read the Targaryen trilogy if they like it, so far everybody I know who's read it says they liked it. It's not that, "Oh yeah, I liked your book." No, it's legitimate. They've actually said things about the book they like, not just, "Oh yeah, I liked it." No, they're referencing events, names. And unless they just scroll through there and said, "Okay, that's a name, that's a name. I'll say this." No, I could tell they actually read the whole trilogy. Or at least the book they said they read. Anyway, I'm going to have all 3 of these, the Targaryen trilogy. That's pretty much all I'm going to be focusing on. Like I said, I don't really have the funds or the time to secure copies of all my books. I might have enough of the folklore series, and if I do, like I said, that's going to be sold as a set. But I have extra copies of the first book, so like I said, if people want to just read the first one and decide if they want to go from there. Strangely enough, for some reason, I've only got 2 copies of Baba Yaga. And I got a lot more copies than that of the other books. But I have had people actually buy Baba Yaga directly from me, so that's probably where my stock went on that. But that's good. At least, they found their way to a good home on somebody's bookshelf. Oh, and as a special treat, because I guess I will have some of the folklore series there. Hold on one second. Yeah, I've only got 2 copies of Baba Yaga. which is okay, because the first person to buy a set of the Folklore series, which I'll show you the books: Redcap, Baba Yaga, Incubus, and then Krampus. And a word about Krampus: it's not your grandpa's Krampus story. I know you've probably read about Krampus if you like him. This is not the same Krampus you've read. It's the same guy, but I have a unique take on how I made his origin. Some people say they don't like it because, oh, it's too sci-fi. Other people say, oh, it just sucked. But, you know, you don't have to like my books, but if you're going to say it sucks, give me a reason at least. Not just, oh, it sucks. Sound like those toxic Star Wars fans. Oh, the movie just sucks. Why? What did you hate about it? Oh, it was just crap. Okay, what was crap about it? It just sucked. And that's the actual conversation I've had with somebody. Yeah. I can go on for an hour on why I hated the sequels and what I liked about the sequels, but this is not about that. Anyway, the first person to buy a set of the Folklore series will not only get the original Redcap, or I mean the current Redcap, I'm sorry, beer. That's the second edition cover. This is the original edition cover before I created the Folklore series. This was a standalone book at one point. Had a different cover. I don't know if you can see that, but it's hard to see on here, but there's a little evil-looking garden gnome guy looking up over the corner. And that's supposed to be a forest, and I faded it red. It really didn't show up too well when I printed the book out. But that's okay. This is my last copy, and the first person to buy a set of the Folklore series is going to get both of these. It's the same book. The only difference is, in this one, the prologue is a little long. And what I did with that was, in this one, the prologue became chapter 1. The chapter 1 here became chapter 2, etc., etc. And I created a new one-page prologue just to kind of talk about what Redcaps are. And that tradition picked up in Baba Yaga, Incubus, and Krampus. Like I said, I've only got 2 sets of Baba Yaga, so I'm only going to have 2 full sets of the Folklore series to sell, and the first one's going to get an extra book with it. But it is what it is. I bought a bunch of copies of this stuff in, it was October of 2019. Well, actually, I bought them in December of 2019. And then I got all the books around February. But of course, that was around the time COVID started getting big, and all the book signings for 2020 got canceled. And over the last few years, I've managed to, sell a book here, sell a book there. And that dwindled my supplies, and I just never really thought, well, I probably won't be getting into too many more book signings anytime soon. But here we are, and I'm happy to be a part of it. And I hope to make a lot of good contacts out there, a lot of good friends in the community. If there's going to be 50 to 60 authors there, come on down. You're guaranteed to find something you like. If you don't like what I write, I'm pretty sure you're going to have people down there with historical fiction, romance, children's books, alternate histories, just whatever you like. I'm sure it's bound to be out there. But don't forget to come on by and visit my table and learn about the Yokumverse, which is a shared universe of all 13 and growing of my books. Because right now I'm working on another trilogy of cosmic horror. And that might be the last ones I write for the Yokumverse. I've actually thought about stopping writing about this universe because my cosmic horror trilogy is going to kind of be like a story that's going to be hard to beat for everything else. To me, it's like Endgame. Endgame for the Avengers is this big event. And then after that, they're bringing in more shows, more stuff, but it's going to take a while to get back to that level of badassery of a villain like Thanos, how they portrayed him. Hey, but Galactus could be coming. But anyway, back onto my books. The 13 books of the Yokumverse of sci-fi, fantasy / paranormal / supernatural. Angels and aliens exist side by side. Got gods, monsters, magic, and technology. So after my cosmic horror trilogy, I might stop writing about that stuff, and I might move on to something else. I'm always big on multiverse and other realities. I might take some familiar characters in my books and do an alternate universe where he zigged when he should have zagged, and he ends up becoming a nobody, and somebody else rises up to fight the monster. That type of thing. But we'll see. We'll see how I feel after I finish writing the cosmic horror trilogy I'm doing. And in the style of Lovecraft, it's going to be not 3 big books. It's going to be short story collections in each book about the main theme. Like the first one is an assault on reality. The second one could be all preparing for war. And the third book of the trilogy, the short stories, could be, the ultimate conflict. Or hell, I might just do the first 2 books of short stories and then the third book be a full-length book. I don't know yet. It all depends on how I feel, as I'm writing it. Things can change for somebody while they're writing, like Haunting of the Nobility. The ending to that used to be different, totally different. And as I was writing it, without even thinking about it, the last 4 chapters, I think it was, my mind, it just clicked, and I completely changed the ending. And it inadvertently became a love story of sorts, which I'm not used to writing that type of stuff. But, anybody who's read this says they like it. So, that's all I can ask for. I write what I like, and if other people like it too, so much the better. I don't expect to be a multi-millionaire getting ready to being able to quit my day job and write full-time. I'd love that. I'm not expecting it, because there's so many authors out there, trying to get noticed, trying to get that big break. The chances are pretty slim that I'll ever make it big, which is why I have to have a day job. But as long as I got my fans, my followers, people who love my books, that's all I can ask for. Make enough money to pay my bills, get some beer, get some coffee, go on a vacation with my wife once in a while. What else can you really ask for in this life? Okay, I've yammered long enough. Once again, thank you to Joseph Schiller, the Author Indie Book Fair, Saturday, August 26th from 10 to 6, Spring Street Studios, 1824 Spring Street, Houston 77007. And just to be safe, I'm going to put all that information in the comment section too. So it's back to work for me, and I hope everybody has a great rest of your day, evening, afternoon, whatever time it is when you're watching this. Be seeing you.